Yes, people, what's going on, man? Welcome back to the channel, man. Listen, people, make sure that you smashed up the likes first of all. Make sure that you're subscribing to the channel. And make sure that you're leaving your comments in below as well, man. Because like I said, I love interacting with you guys. I love getting your takes on these sort of things. And yeah, you know, road to 3K. Road to 3K. We're on 2.2 now. I haven't forgot about the calling. I've just been quite busy with work. I've been busy with quite a few things outside of football and streaming and whatnot. But I'm definitely gonna chop something up. So you guys can come live and we can chop it up, you know, and get your thoughts for the upcoming season, you know. But listen, I thought I'd put a little video together speaking about the performance yesterday up against Club America, because it was a very good performance in comparison to what we saw last week. Last week I was actually out, so I didn't get to watch the Celtic game, and I watched the highlights after. But from what I was seeing on the timeline, from the group chats that I'm in, it looked like it was a very bad performance. You know, on the transition, we were getting chopped apart. And I've actually got the Chelsea app on my phone. Every 2 seconds, I'm seeing 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. I'm thinking, yo, what's going on over here, man? You know what I mean? Because as you know, we've got a toxic fan base that are just waiting for any little bit of negativity. They latch onto it and they grab it. You know what I'm saying? I said it the other day on the terrace, bro. These negative Nancys on the timeline are honestly like lions in Africa, bro. Yeah, you know the lions in the back, in the bushes, yeah, just waiting. And they see the little, you know, what they see, like the wild cat, or they see something and they want to attack it. They wait, then they pounce. That's what these lot do. When there's negativity, they pounce everywhere. But when there's good performances like yesterday, nowhere to be seen. Tumbleweed all over the timeline. All that negative bunch, nowhere to be seen yesterday, you know. I swear to God, but I swear, if we lost that game yesterday, they would have been outside. I was hearing, this guy's not going to make it to January after last week. I was hearing, this is why I didn't want a championship manager last week. I was hearing, we're going to get relegated. And I'm thinking, yo, when did preseason ever become such a thing where people look at it like this? When? Because I've always known preseason to be a place of, you know, to build some cohesion. I've always known preseason to be a place where trial and error in terms of positioning, in terms of personnel. I've always known preseason to be a place where to gain fitness. I've always known preseason to be a place where if you've got a new manager, it's a good place for you to see what style of play they want to play. You know what I'm saying? It's a good way for people to get fit. And like I said, see the new players that you're bringing in. And within 2 weeks, last week, people were expecting to see Maresca Ball times Barcelona time, you know, play like us play. I even have to laugh. I can't even get my words out. They wanted to see Pep Ball last week. Yeah, within 2 weeks. Bearing in mind that we're even missing Palmer, Caicedo, you know, Cucurella, key players that will be starting for us, you know. But listen, again, last week was a poor performance. And one thing that I was really happy with, because I spoke to the guys in the group chat, one thing that I was happy with is the fact that Maresca came out after that game. He spoke about the positives, but he also spoke about the fact that off the ball, you know, a lot of these guys were confused. They didn't know when to press. They didn't know when to stay. The shape was all over the place. And man-to-man, the pressing wasn't aggressive enough. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, so I was like, yeah, cool. I'm glad that he said that, because that's something that I didn't really see from Poch. Every single time with Poch, if we're playing shit, he'll come out after, and it was all about protecting the players. You know, he'll speak about how we did really well. You know, we should have finished our chances. There was never anything tactically I'd ever hear from that guy, right? When I can clearly see that there's this guy played in a position where he's not comfortable. I can clearly see that a certain player should have come off earlier. A certain player should have started. It was always about protecting the players. There was never any honesty. There was never any transparency even. But with Maresca already, he's been transparent, being very honest. Do you know what I'm saying? Talking about how, you know, how it wasn't good enough. And I said, listen, in the next game, because it's preseason, every single game I expect to see gradual improvement. So in the next game, I hope that whatever he changes in training and in the match will obviously benefit the team and help us play better. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. Exactly what happened. From back to front, we were really fluid and was creating some really, really good chances for the attackers. You know, I checked the stats. We had 4 big chances, 17 shots on target. Sorry, 17 shots as well. You know, they had zero big chances, and they had 10 shots on 10 shots as well. So overall, you can see that we dominated the game and we had way more possession than them. Obviously, listen, they're not a Premier League club, but you can only play what's ahead of you, because we played Wrexham the other day and we ended up we drew that game, didn't we? Yeah, we drew that game, and the performance was shit. So I don't look at it and think, oh yeah, but it's only Club America. Like, yeah, okay, cool. In the larger scale of things, it's only Club America, but it was only Wrexham, and we struggled the other day. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But listen, first of all, I liked the lineup that he went with. I think Tosin's been doing quite well since we've seen him in there. And I spoke about this on Never a Foul. I said, for me, Tosin is definitely going to be one of the leaders in the team. You know, Daps was trying to laugh at me and that, you know. And I'm like, bro, like this Tosin guy, when he came through your academy, he was the captain. Even when he came into the club, like at Chelsea, from just how he speaks, his age, you know, at Fulham, you can clearly see this is a man. You know what I'm saying? Like we need men at the back. We had Gary Cahill's, we had John Terry's and whatnot. I'm not saying Tosin's as good as these guys, but in terms of his mentality and his leadership qualities, I can clearly see, you know. And when we got that penalty as well, he's the one that went to Madueke and took the ball off of him and to give it to Nkunku. Do you know what I'm saying? But from back to front, I thought we did really well. Sanchez, first of all, you know, I don't like Sanchez. I think the thing about Sanchez, it's a weird one. Let me not even say, look, what it is about Sanchez, his concentration levels are poor, right? Poor concentration levels. Because I honestly feel like he's got the attributes to be a really good keeper. He's tall. His shot stopping ain't the worst, to be honest with you. I've seen worse than what he does in behind the sticks. And on top of that, the ball at his feet, if he just composes himself, it can be a lot better. Because one thing about him, he likes to play it through bodies, right? That's how the ball ends up getting intercepted most of the time. I'm like, brother, can you not see that the guy is right in front of you there? He's not a ghost. He's a body. If you try to play it through him, the ball's just going to hit him. And then before you know it, we're conceding a stupid goal. You know, you're putting people under pressure. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but yesterday, in the first half, he was very, very good, man. Very key in build-up. I was seeing him coming off of the line, getting involved in the game. When he was getting the ball back, he was just playing it to a blue shirt, punching it in. There was a time where Madueke, he played the ball to Madueke on the right. Madueke gave it back to him, and he just popped it straight up to Gil, and straight away it was on a break. You know, one-on-one Madueke, one-on-one Sterling on the other side. It was nice to see. You know, and he made a very good save as well in the first half from their right winger. Their right winger, I didn't catch his name, but he was actually quite decent, to be fair. But yeah, I thought he had a very good half, and that's exactly what happens when you've got competition. Now he knows Jorgensen is behind him right there, breathing behind his neck. Like, yo, any little slip up, bro, man's here. You know what I'm saying? So now he knows, yo, listen, if I fuck up, it's not Petrovic. Yeah, because before he's probably thinking, yeah, man, if I fuck up, man, Petrovic I'm not going to get dropped for Petrovic. He's shit with the ball at his feet, you know? But now he's actually got someone there that can do what he does, and he's younger than it. You know what I'm trying to say? So, listen, Sanchez, hopefully he carries that on it going into the season if he starts, because end of the day, he's a Chelsea player. I don't want him to start performing badly so he can get dropped. If he gets dropped, it's going to be warranted because of his performances. But if he keeps improving and gets better, that's what I want. He plays for my club. You know what I'm saying? We have to support him. So Sanchez, I thought he was really good, man. And I really like the dynamic at the back as well. You know, the fact that it wasn't actually Reece James that was inverting this time round. It was Gusto that was inverting on the left-hand side. Because for me, listen, I said it last season. I was speaking to Roms about it. Big up Roms. I said, I actually think Gusto is better than Reece James on the ball, right? And people will think, whoa, that's crazy for you to say that. But when you actually watch both of them on the ball, Reece James is good at bombing forward. He's good at retaining possession. He's actually quite press resistant for a big guy. But when you look at Gusto, I just see so much flair, so much imagination, so much agility, right? He's like a cage baller. Do you know what I'm saying? And yesterday, when he was inverting into that midfield, he was all over the place. All over the place. The heat map for him must have been crazy yesterday. I haven't even checked it, right? I was seeing him at left back, then I'm seeing him in the midfield, then I'm seeing him guy right wing, playing Madueke playing Nkunku in behind. You know what I'm saying? He had a very, very good game. You know, he looks a lot more comfortable playing that midfield in comparison to Reece. You know, I liked how Reece was just dropping into a free when Gusto would invert, you know, a little bit more secure. And I liked how Reece James was staying at right back. That's what I want to see, you know. And that's something that Maresca didn't do in the first two games. It was Reece James inverting against Wrexham, and he inverted again against Celtic. And you can clearly see that he's not that comfortable there. So in the meantime, whilst Cucurella's not there, if Vega's not going to start, I want to see Gusto there again, you know, in the next game against Real Madrid, because it worked. You know, it worked. And that partnership between him and Lavia, it was A1. Really, really good partnership between him and Lavia. And let me say something about Lavia as well, yeah? This guy right now, for me even, he's been the best performer in preseason so far, right? The way he's just, you know, this structure, this whole system, this new system, right? It's not easy to get your head around it because you need the tech, you need the IQ, you need the understanding of where to position yourself. You need to make sure that you're not keeping the ball for too long. You need to understand where your teammates are. And Lavia's IQ for 21-year-old, 20-year-old, right, is beyond his years. Because he's one of the few players from day one, from the first game, looks quite comfortable in that role. And he's been out for pretty much all season. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You know, the press resistance, the way he's driving through the midfield, the strength when he's on the ball. He won that penalty straight away because I was trying to find a little something to watch the game on. I've turned it on. I'm seeing Nkunku's got a penalty already. I'm thinking, whoa, what's happened here? And I saw the replay and I'm seeing Lavia doing what I was seeing Lavia doing at Southampton. You know? And it was a big miss last season. Very big miss because he is a key player. That's why Klopp wanted him. That's why Arteta wanted him. That's why Man City were considering him again. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why Joe Shields wanted him and brought him to England from Anderlecht. So Lavia, for me, needs to start at the start of the season, yeah? Enzo needs to work his way into the team because we'll speak about where Enzo played when he came on. But for me, Lavia is a full-blown starter. He has to start. He has been unbelievable in that midfield, especially yesterday. He was very, very good. Very, very good, you know? Badiashile and Tosin, again, I feel for me, Badiashile, he can be quite jittery at times. That's the main problem with him because on the ball, he's quite technical, you know, and he's got a very good sort of ping into midfield. The way he punches the ball into midfield, very similar to what Levi Cole does. You know, when he first came under Potter, everyone loved him. The same way people talk about Gusto is how they were talking about Badiashile. Universally within the fan base, we all liked Badiashile. And I even tweeted out at the time saying we found a gem in Badiashile because I was at his debut when we played Liverpool. I think he played that game, right? And I was there. Mudryk played that game as well. That was Mudryk's debut as well. You know, and I was like, yo, this guy's very composed. You know, he's tall. Doesn't really seem like anything phases him. But last year in Poch's system, looked like a completely different player. Completely different player. And I kept telling people, yo, fitness is obviously playing a part. I can't excuse for certain mistakes that he's making because he should be doing better. But he's a technical player. He doesn't want to be playing in all this space, all this land. Yeah, he wants to look into the midfield and see Lavia there. He wants to see Gusto there. He wants to look in between the lines and see Palmer there. He wants to see Nkunku there. Whereas in Poch's system, he's looking in between the lines. He's seeing Gallagher hiding. He's seeing Enzo, God knows where. He's seeing Caicedo on an island by himself. And then before you know it, it's affecting his game, you know? So in a system like this, I can see him working a lot better. Yeah, and for me, he needs someone next to him who's a leader. Someone like a Thiago Silva. And that's where I think Tosin complements him. You know what I'm trying to say? Because he brings that leadership qualities and it seems like he sort of calms him down a bit. I thought he had a very good game yesterday as well. A very good game, you know? And then moving into the midfield, Dewsbury Hall in that left half space. You know, initially he had a chance. He just scuffed the shot. He had two chances actually quite early in the game. He scuffed his shots. But listen, you can clearly see that was rust because this guy, he just came back into the side. I believe he had a knock at the end of the season last year. That's why it took a little bit longer for him to come back after we bought him. But straight away, bro, you can clearly see that this is a player that understands the system. And that's why I was happy when we signed him. I wasn't, I didn't really understand it at the time. But when I did, I said, you know what? It will help us because he's an upgrade on Gallagher. And at the same time, he understands the system. So it won't take as long for him to come in and understand what's expected from him, you know? And I called him a ninja. I called him a ninja. I called Gusto a ninja. I called Nkunku a ninja as well. And the reason why is because with Dewsbury Hall, 1 second you see him in the half space, the next second he's gone. You know, before you know it, he's popping it off. And I'm like, yo, how did you find that space? You know what I'm saying? His understanding of the game in between the lines and to take it on the half turn is very, very good. Very good. And it was a very good assist that he got for Gil as well, right? On his left foot. You know what I'm saying? I know he's left-footed. You know, it always makes everything a little better. You know, when these left-footed guys just whip it in or cross it in or whatever. But it was a very, very good cross, bro. That's on his debut as well. You know, I thought he played really well, man. And in that right half space, Nkunku, bro. You know, what can I say about this guy? You know, everyone knows how good Nkunku is. The only problem with Nkunku is his fitness. You know, how he finds little pockets, how he gets himself out of tight spaces, his finishing, right? He doesn't hesitate when he's in front of goal. He just puts his foot through it. You know what I'm trying to say? And I just came off a stream with Dan Potts, Staffy, and Tom Little. Big them up, yeah? And I just had Tom Little trying to tell me that Nkunku is not a good finisher. You know what I'm saying? The disrespect that some of our players get is crazy. He was disrespecting Lavia, trying to talk down on Lavia as if he's the greatest manager he's seen in his time. Didn't want this guy, you know. But all of a sudden, it's shit because he's come to Chelsea. It's crazy. This is why I need Nkunku to stay fit, because last season we saw some of the chances that he scored against Brighton, against Wolves, against Liverpool, right? 3 goals. He scored 3 goals in minimal minutes in a system that didn't favour him, where Poch was basically playing him up top by himself. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be another key player. We need to make sure that we're keeping this guy fit, because honestly, we would have won so many more games last season if we had Nkunku up top finishing some of these chances, because he's not missing as many chances as Jackson, right? I can think of so many games where even though Poch didn't set us up correctly, if we're a better finisher, we win that game. You know, we draw that game. You know, so he's one that needs to stay fit, because again, like I said, he's another ninja. The way he occupies space, his understanding of the game, his IQ is up there. You know, so we need to make sure that we're keeping him fit. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I really liked as well in terms of the patterns was the fact that we kept going out to the wingers. And this is what I was saying to you guys before when I spoke about what I was seeing in terms of how Leicester were attacking, how they kept playing to Mavididi, they kept playing to Fatal. I'm seeing the same sort of patterns here. We kept playing it to Sterling to take on his man one-on-one. We kept playing it to Madueke to take on his man one-on-one. And Sterling chopped it back a few times. Some of the chances should have been buried by Dewsbury Hall, for example, by Gill, a few of those guys. But at the same time, I feel like he could have taken on his man a little bit more, in all honesty. But again, it's pre-season. It's still, sort of learning the system. Hopefully, it gets better as the season goes on. But we do, in my opinion, we need a new winger. The window's still open. We need someone like a Nico Williams. You know what I'm saying? Someone that's polished and ready now to just come into the team. And that's why I was looking at someone like Olise. You know what I'm saying? And on the other side, Madueke, I thought he did quite well. The only problem with him was his end product. That's the major problem with him. And it's so annoying because it's not even an ability thing. Like, he gets himself in good positions to just pop it off, or to shoot. But then he overdoes it sometimes. And I'm like, bro, you can leave the game with so many assists. So many assists. You need to be more of a team player. You know what I'm trying to say? Keep it simple. That's what Olise does. Olise, when he sees a space, he'll just play it. When there's opportunity to just play the ball or shoot, he'll just do it. Madueke hesitates too much. I don't know if you're thinking of these Instagram reels you're trying to do. I don't know if you had a baddie in the stand, because these lot in America right now. I don't know if you had these girls in there just watching him and they're trying to do this nonchalant thing. Nah, bro. I don't want to be seeing any of that. When you beat your man, pop it back into the into the 6-yard box, yeah, or pop off a shot, and then someone else can get onto the end of it, But yeah, hopefully he carries on to improve. Ideally, with someone like Madueke, you want him to come off the bench. That's why, like I said, we're looking at Olise. But listen, if he's gonna start, he needs to make sure that he starts to improve that end product quickly, because he last season it was looking like it was improving, but again, it's looking like he's gone backwards again. You know what I'm saying? So he needs to make sure that he improves that side of things. And then Mark Gill, listen, this is someone that, again, people were trying to cook me for when I said this is a good signing that we've made. They're telling me, oh, you just like everyone that Chelsea are signing, as if I haven't been sitting there doing my research, watching games back to see what he's like. And I said to all of these lot in the group chats that I'm in, I said, yo, Mark Gill, for 18-year-old, you wouldn't even think it. Yeah? If you showed someone how he plays and they've never watched football before, they won't think he's 18 because he's very physical. And even when I was watching his games back in the youth team, he was a unit in comparison to everyone else. 14, 15, I'm seeing this guy towering over people. You know what I'm saying? And one of the main things that I was seeing at the time was how he was running in behind. His timing on his runs is A1. I wasn't seeing this guy getting caught offside, but he's so rapid, right? That goes to show me that he's got a football brain. He knows how to time his runs and when to go. We haven't really seen much in terms of his finishing as of yet. Very good finish in terms of his header yesterday. But when you create chances for him one-on-one, left foot, right foot, I was seeing this guy burying some good goals for Barcelona. So very soon, hopefully, when you've got the likes of Palmer that are just feeding the ball through the lines, you're going to start to see that. You know what I'm saying? But that's definitely, he's definitely going to be a top player, man. Like 100%. I can see the potential. Even now, I think he can definitely hold his own in the Prem. I don't want to see him going on loan. You know what I'm trying to say? If we don't go and sign someone who's more guaranteed up top, then I'd rather Gill and Jackson fight out up top. I don't want to go bring Omarodian, who's another guy that's all about, potential and whatnot. I actually think Gill's better than Omarodian, in my opinion. So listen, he's got to keep building. But so far, I'm glad that a lot of even the toxic Chelsea fans at the minute seem to like him. Because like I said, I was really impressed with what I saw when I was watching his games back for Barcelona. But listen, second half, it was a little bit flat in comparison to the first half. We defended quite well, to be fair. We kept a nice shape off the ball. And obviously Nkunku, you know, got a penalty from that nice run that he did. It was Hazard-esque, to be fair. But yeah, man, it was a good performance overall. You know what I'm saying? It was a much needed, much improved performance, and that's down to the coach and his team. Because end of the day, like I said, it was good. He recognized where he went wrong. He recognized where the team went wrong, and he changed it. And that's exactly what I was asking Poch to do. But unfortunately, this manager did not want to do that. Yeah, he kept going for the same thing over and over and over again, even though it's not working. Then when he realized his job's on the line, that's when he decides to start panicking and doing things that are working in pre-season. Surprise, surprise, everyone plays better. We win 5 games in a row. You know what I'm saying? So listen, again, this is a good way to build. Hopefully we see more improvements in the next game. We've still got Caicedo could play in the next game. Enzo came on. You know, I didn't really like him in that 8 role, to be honest with you. I don't really know what's going to happen with Enzo, to be honest, in terms of where he's going to get played. I don't like him in that second phase. I like him more in the first phase, going into the second phase. You know what I'm saying? Because he's more of a deep line playmaker. I call him more of like a 5. I don't really. He's like a 5/8. When I say 5, he's like a deep lane. He gets the ball, dictates the game, keeps it ticking, and it crashes the box. And if we're playing low, if we're playing against a low block, then he can go a little bit higher and then do them little passes that he likes, like what he did against West Ham, like what he did against Leicester when we played Leicester and haven't scored that little lob as well. You know. But listen, there's a lot to look forward to, like I said, man. And yeah, a few more signings hopefully that they make. Jorgensen, I thought he did quite well. To be fair, I think he looks quite decent. There was only one pass that he made, which is a bit meaty, but apart from that, he looks quite assured in the sticks, man. You know what I'm saying? But listen, people, let me know your thoughts of how you thought the game went. Let me know who else you wanna see in the lineup for the next game. If you want Maresca to change anything else, just let me know. Let's talk. You know what I'm saying? Because it's pre-season, like I said, it's trial and error. I'm not saying now because we've gone and had an amazing performance already for the season. No. We've got to keep working. You know what I'm saying? We've got to keep working because we can't have a slow start like what we did last year. Cannot have a slow start like what we did last year. And honestly, I'm sick and tired of these rivals, yeah, talking about these players like they're useless. This is why I can't stand Poch, because he's warped a lot of people's minds, and he made people feel like the players are worse than what they are. You know what I'm saying? When it's Southgate, everyone can understand it. But when it's our team, it's nah. You lot just sign players are overrated. You lot just overrate your players. No one's calling these players world class, but they're very good players. That a lot of clubs would want and would love in their team. Do you know what I'm saying? But in a bit, people, man, love.